Alright, welcome back to part 5 of how to put a supercharged 3800 into a Chevy S10 or any rear-wheel drive car for that matter. In the previous episode, we pulled the engine, we did the engine bay modifications. I said in the next part we were going to talk about the transmission and we were going to install the clutch, flywheel, all that stuff. Little change of plans, we're not going to do that one. We are actually going to install the transmission today without the clutch, and we are going to build the engine mounts, which is going to be a super simple process. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going on vacation for a week, so I don't want all these parts scattered around. I would like to just install the engine and then I can go on vacation. And then once everything is like built to the way it needs to be, we'll pull the engine back out and then we will film the episode on how to install the clutch, the flywheel, the importance of the flywheel, and then the transmission, of course. So don't worry, that episode is coming. I just figured with my friend here helping me, it's going to be a two-person job installing the engine. So there's that. So just to quick get it out of the way, the transmission I am using for now is from a 1995 Chevy S10 2.2 liter 5-speed. It is the same bell housing pattern. So we just got done power washing it. You can probably tell I'm a little dirty because of how greasy it was. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this engine off the engine stand, bolt on the transmission, and then hopefully we can push the car in here, just the two of us, and we can start shimmying this thing down in here. Should be super straightforward. So we'll get this off the engine stand, and then once we're good to go, we'll start filming again, and I will explain what we're going to be doing. So stay tuned. All right. You want to grab that block and set it on your roof? No, slide back a little to the flat part of the more. No, towards the end. Yep, keep going. This is painful to watch, dude. Dude, this is painful. There you go. You're getting it. Oh, that wasn't bad though. Good job.
That's what I do, baby. Show up and get shit done.
All right, we got the transmission temporarily bolted up. We're only running 3 bolts. Because these two are the only ones that will fit, and this one doesn't belong there. So, and if I'm being honest, I don't actually know where half of the other ones go. If I'm not mistaken, on the car, this one threaded into the transmission, so we might have to run like actual nuts and bolts. I'm not sure. I'm not too concerned about it right now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to push the car in. I hope we can get it to fit. So we'll have to slide this back quite a bit, and then we can push the car in. My dad's home now, so it should be able to get in pretty easily. All right. Are we going to clear the legs? Maybe not. Oh, I guess we'll go over and push. Oh, maybe not. That's good. Set her down slow. Up high. We were starting to scoot the engine in, and I completely forgot the entire purpose of this video is engine mounts. So we need to put the engine mounts on. So the engine mounts we are using are LS S10 swap engine mounts. These are, if you are swapping in an LS, it is a direct bolt in. So this is what it looks like. This plate will bolt to the engine, and what's cool about this is for an LS, but it is almost a perfect fit to the original engine mounts, just a little tight. These are the polyurethane bushings, and these will go right there. What we have to do to modify these is when this is all bolted together, we have to cut these arms off, make cardboard templates, and basically recreate these arms but longer. So that's what we have to do. The first thing we have to do though is when this had a 2.2 liter, it only had 2 bolts per side, right here and right here. And I guess this side had 3. It had an extra one down here. So we'll take this, and that will go there, there, and there, in those 3 holes. The only problem is these holes, except that one, are not threaded. So we have to get a tap and die, or just a tap, drill out these holes and tap them, and then we're good to go. That should be that. So we're going to quick tap those. Got the tap right here. It is a 10 by 1.5. We're just going to drill those out, tap the holes, and then using the hardware that the engine mounts came with, screw that in. And then we probably should also bolt up these. So I also just realized we do not, I don't think we have hardware for this. So we might,
That's what we're gonna do.
We'll have to go uptown and get hardware. So yeah. So, all right, we're going to do that quick. I'm not going to film drilling or tapping that. We'll just get that taken care of really quick. Sorry, it's very warm in my garage. We got those tapped out. I am going to do some blue Loctite on here. And then I just Googled the torque spec for a V6, a 4.3 V6 engine mount. And it said 33 foot-pounds. So that's what I'm going to go with instead of the 2.2 engine mount. So we'll get these nicely bolted in here, some thread locker, and then we'll just 33 foot-pounds. And these really should not have to come out again. So I think we'll be good. And then we can look at the plates up here, which I don't think I have hardware for these, so, which is okay. We can get some hardware, but yeah, so we'll get these bolted in quick. All right, we're about to bolt on the engine mounts to the engine. But I decided to chase the threads. The bolts that go in there are a M12 by 1.75, and I just want to show you how dirty those holes were. They were filthy. So yeah, those were barely threading in. So we'll clean out the other ones, and then we will bolt on the engine mount. I'm going to leave these on for now, these buttresses, but I'm like 99% guaranteed we have to cut those off. But you know, there's a chance we don't. What are we running into? You're just filming me.
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna edit that part out. Okay, we have some good news and bad news. Bad news is the custom supercharger pipe is like 2 millimeters away from hitting the heater core lines, right? However, if you see my oil pan down here, it is not in the notch. That needs to go back a good 3 inches, and that's about as much room as I have. So what we need to do is I need to lower my jack down there, holding up the transmission, so the engine does this, and we can shimmy that more into that groove down there. We basically need to line up those holes with that. I don't know if we are going to make that there. That is going to be a super tight fit. Oh man, we might have to get a hammer and
Pound them up.
kind of force it. All right, we're going to keep going. My camera. Today is a great day. It is a new day that we are working on this car. Let's see what happened. Oh yeah, the transmission didn't fit, kind of, not really, but we solved the problem. I still don't know if this video is going to come out before the clutch video. So if it does, if it doesn't, I don't know. But basically, the engine is where it's at. This is not moving, which means this kind of is not moving. And basically, my shifter right there needs to come forward. About 5 inches, but I can't do that unless I got a 4th gen Camaro or Firebird tail shaft housing, V6 tail shaft housing, but then I'd also have to get a top shift plate as well. There's just a bunch of factors. So instead, I'm going to do a remote mount shifter. So basically, I'm going to reinstall the shifter right there. And then I just bought a short throw shifter, billet aluminum, I think billet aluminum, off eBay for a Mustang for like 30 bucks. And that will basically mount like here maybe, or really wherever I want it. And then I'll have a rod that connects to the shifter there. I will have to remove and relocate my radio, which is really no problem at all. I'm not concerned about that. So this is good. This is good. I will have to lengthen my drive shaft, but I would have had to have lengthened it and changed it out regardless if I had put in the Camaro one. So everything is awesome. Literally awesome. Now today, the only problem is the plate. You can see the Crossmember there and just barely see the plate right there where that transmission is supposed to mount. I need to now build said plate. I need to extend it out, which is not a problem. My brand new bushing or trans mount just arrived. I have a bunch of 3/16 inch steel to bolt all that together. So yeah, everything is really awesome. I think the first thing we are going to do is we're going to remove the engine so we can weld this piece in. All right, we got the Crossmember notch welded in. That sucked. I've been at this all day. It's almost 5 o'clock now. That's crazy. Almost 5 o'clock. I'm not getting closer because my welds suck, but they penetrated, and that's good enough for me. So, yep, there's that. All right, time to move on. Now the hard part is, do we work on the transmission mount or the engine mounts? And they have to go at the same time. That makes no sense at all. The engine mounts need to be temporarily put into place so the transmission mount lines up, and the transmission mount needs to be put in place so the engine mounts line up. So yeah. Alright, I say we clean up, shove the engine back in, and start figuring some stuff out. Okay, so engine is basically in. It's not, I don't have it straight yet. It's not true straight. So I guess I got it pretty dang centered. It's over a little this way, but if you look at the center of the bolt and the center, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So there's that, and then we're also going to work on the transmission mount. Time to take our LS mounts and cut off these mounts here, but do not get rid of them, okay? I'll explain why in a second. All right, we got the motor mounts cut off and ground down, got the paint or the powder coating off. So the next thing we need to do is we need to pick 2 holes on each one and hone them out, because the bolts, my motor mount bolts, are not, the holes here are too small, so the bolts can't fit. We are going to be running 3 bolts per side. However, we are going to have to basically drill a hole for the one. I'll explain more about that later. So now we're going to hone those out, bolt them to the engine, and then there we can get our centering there. Make sure that's all good to go. Center it on the transmission. That should be good as well. We can start cutting up some 3/16 steel there for our motor mounts for the new buttresses. So let's hone those out quick, and then we'll bolt them to the engine. That sucked. We got the bolt to pass through all of them. So basically that one is gonna go to this hole and this hole here, and this one we're gonna have to drill for, but we don't know where we need to drill yet until basically the engine mounts are done. And then same thing on the other side. So let me get this kind of bolted up quick, and then we'll start measuring out some motor mounts. Holy crap, we are making headway. Okay, so we got these bolted on, right? Basically where those are gonna live, right? Okay, those are on. That's totally fine. I got my new bushing, my transmission bushing on. Oh, come down here. Kind of. Okay, so you can see, not quite on. If this plate was literally an inch longer, I'd be perfect. So I have it just barely resting there and the jack just barely supporting it. Come on, flashlight. But I have it lined up with the hole there. So it is centered. So that is good. So I'm just going to get some 3/16 inch plate and basically bolt the plate to this and then drill a hole in that, and that should be good. So that is all good to go. And then I think I already mentioned this, but we got a 3/16 inch block of wood that I cut up, and you can just kind of see it down there. And I stacked it up so it's 3/8 inches tall, 3/16 inches from the front. It's a very tight fit, but it fits. So what I wrapped up with is, you can see the engine mounts they look like they're just kind of loose there, but actually if I take a level and put a level on her, it's hard to see. It's pretty level, not perfect yet. So that, and then the transmission is basically where that needs to be as well. So the goal for today is just to finish up the arms there, the engine mounts. My girlfriend is back, so we are back in business, so she's here just in time to help me pull the engine out. Okay, so I just cut out this 3/16 inch steel. This is going to go right here. It's kind of hard to film one-handed. So that's basically, it needs to get cut down a little bit, but that's going to go here and be that extension that I need, and it's going to get bolted down to the flange there. It actually needs to be cut down quite a bit because you can see where the hole was, and it only goes to about right here, so I don't really need all that room. I'm thinking I might be able to run a stock drive shaft. I think that'd be pretty cool if I could. So we'll get this cut down a little bit, screwed in. I would like to get the transmission bolted in, and then I will center the engine there, and then we can go from there. All right, we got that plate in there. It's not bolted in. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not super straight, but who cares? So now we just need to measure where the bolt for the bushing goes. So that will be okay. Don't worry, I'm going to put another bolt in here. Ideally, I would love to weld this. I have this cool thing called fuel lines right here, and I would rather not have sparks spraying like crazy near the fuel lines. So that is not going to happen. So maybe in the future, if I ever replace the fuel lines, I'll do it then. I'll maybe weld that in. But really strong grade 8 bolts will hold up for now. So I'm not too concerned about it. So yeah, I'll get this temporarily bolted in. We'll get the engine back into place, and then yeah, we'll get that all lined up. Okay, we got this marked. So basically this goes like this. This is where the edge of the original crossmember mount is, and I know when I had the engine exactly where it needed to be. The bolt was literally right on the edge of the crossmember. So I'm going to basically, I marked here, and I'm just going to mark here, and I'm going to just drill a big hole here. Not too big, but big enough that it gives me plenty of wiggle room, and I can feed it in through there, and that's how I'm going to do that. I had to drill that with a drill press. Trying to get a hand drill in here to drill that out is going to be crazy, but I probably should. Yeah, okay, I'll drill it out. But anyway, we're going to just mark a hole here for the transmission. So we'll get that all put together, and then we can put this in. And then I also grabbed a hammer and gave this the old hammer treatment. It looks like crap. I'll just spray some paint over it, but it gives me the clearance I needed, and it will the pipe here will hide that. So I think we'll be good there. All right, great news. We are done modifying that. So basically, when I had the transmission in, it was rubbing up right against the flange here. So I just took a jigsaw and kind of cut that. And then we dropped this in here. And that literally goes just like that. That is beautiful. All right, we'll get that cleaned up. I got some grade 8 bolts that we will bolt in, and then this is not going anywhere. Yeah, I feel good about that. I feel really good about that. There is one thing I'm a little concerned about, and that is the mount right there. Keep in mind, I had that in its stock location, so now we're adding 3/16 of an inch up. That's going to change my pinion angle. I don't think that's going to matter too much. I don't think it will affect it too much, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? All right, got the transmission mount in. She is solid, not going anywhere. And then I have this in here because it's a little easier to get the bolts going into the transmission than it is to kind of lift this up over. We'll see how that works. So now we're gonna push the engine in, and then I'm gonna have my girlfriend push on the cherry picker, and I'm gonna come in here and kind of lift the transmission where it needs to be. So that is next. It smells like gas under here. All right, great news, guys. We were putting the engine and transmission back in, and everything literally dropped into place perfectly. And then, according to the S10 forums, your engine needs to be tilted back 3 to 5 degrees. That was factory spec. And check this out. And if I put my phone in the grooves of the valve cover, it tilts back 3 degrees perfectly. So that is pretty impressive that I was able to get that within factory spec. Technically speaking, this engine is super square. It's like so perfect. I am so excited right now. Woo! She's my cheering squad. And then also, look at that. Bashed that in with a hammer, and now my hand can fit back there. So, in the supercharger episode, I did say I would almost wait until your engine is in the car. But, yeah, that looks great. Oh, man, this is awesome. So now, it is 4:30. What we need to do is we need to then re-flip these, because we had to flip these the other way to get the engine in and out. We're going to flip these back over, get them exactly where we want them, and then instead of making cardboard templates, because there's really no point, I got this scrap 3/16 inch steel, and the engine mounts are 3/16 inch, so we'll make the same width of them, and we'll just get a welder in there, and we'll kind of tack everything into place, and then we'll pull those out. I will make some shims to keep it from distorting when welding, and then we can weld that solid, and then the engine is literally in, which is crazy. I also do have a 3/16 shim in the front, so this is amazing. I can't believe we made it this far. I'm so excited. Okay, we are just about ready to start tacking up some engine mounts, but there was something weird is the engine mounts. There's definitely, when you get the LS engine mounts, they are definitely directional, because I just grabbed the little ears here, and on one of them, the side, 2 of them are like lower, and so I don't know, but basically the lower end on both sides I have on the back to clear this bolt here. If you have the higher one on the back, it's not going to clear. That's hard to explain, but I trust you in figuring it out when you do it yourself. The other thing is, I was talking to my friend Mason. Huge shout out to him. I'll talk about him again at the end of the video. But I was like, hey, how did you center your engine? I said that I went off the fender wells, and he said that he wouldn't even recommend going off the fender wells. And he said there's a hole on the skid plate right here, and he said that is almost certainly the center of the frame. And unfortunately, I have a laser level, but I cannot find it for the life of me. So we're going old school with the plumb bob. You can't see it on camera, but there's a super faint mark in the middle of this. So that's what we're going off of. And it looks like I just about got it. So once we get that, we can literally start tacking up some mounts. So this is unfortunately something you can't rush. We've been here since like 2 o'clock basically, just getting everything about perfect. So yeah, as soon as we're done with that, we'll wrap her up. All right, we got the pieces tacked into place. They're tack welds, so they don't look very good, but whatever. So now we are going to take out the engine mounts and call it for the night, because I am going to back to the 50s this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to work on this for about a week. So yeah, so when we get back, we'll finish welding up the brackets there. I'm going to be honest, I'm not super happy with how they look, but I also don't care. Basically put everything away and act like this never happened, and then I'll be back in a week and we'll put everything back in, and then we can finally install the clutch. But the clutch video came out before this video, so, you know, anyway. Alright, so we are working on the engine mounts today, hopefully going to be finishing them up. It's been a while since I've worked on the engine mounts because we were wrapping up the clutch install video, but all of that is done, so that is very exciting. So now we're moving back to the engine mounts. Now, I'm not sure if I showed you guys the engine mounts. Those are super ugly. But I'm gonna just rock with them, right? Sorry. Ideally, it would be nice to get a plasma cutter and cut everything out and make it look pretty, blah, blah, blah. And who knows, maybe I will do that in the future, but today is not that day. I'm going to make these work, but don't worry, I'm not just going to weld these up and call it good. I know I have to triangulate everything, so that is what we're going to work on today. So let me show you what I'm thinking. Of course, like I said, all this is going to be welded up solid, and then I will draw out what I'm thinking for the triangulation of the engine mounts. So let me draw that up, cut it out quick, and show you what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm thinking, just grabbing some 3/16 inch scrap steel and just kind of triangulating them like that. As you can see, it kind of bows out a little bit. I hope that's not going to affect anything. It shouldn't. I don't think I have to put a bar in here. I could if I wanted to really strengthen that up. I just fear about how I'm going to try to shimmy this hunk of steel down into the engine bay. So yeah, so I think that's what we'll go with. So I'm actually going to toss this in the sandblaster really quick and just get the rest of the paint off this, and that way we can have a nice clean weld. So let's do that really quick. Alrighty, just about got the brackets all welded up. You know, I was doubting it at first. My welds aren't the greatest in the world, but I feel a lot better about them now. And now we're going to make the triangulation, I guess you could call it. So we'll just cut that out of some scrap 3/16. And then these two that I have in my hand are for this one. We still need to design the smaller ones. I feel really good about this, honestly. I'm feeling good. So we'll get this cut out here and probably weld those on. Ta-da! See, that's what I was talking about this entire time. Just kind of doing something like that. I might put something in the middle there. Undecided yet. I guess I need to cut it down. I don't think I'll have to, though, because I'll have that in the middle. I don't think I'm going to, mainly because that would just be a lot of work. My one fear, though, is I'm going to weld all this up and it's going to distort the crap out of this. That would not be good. But we're going to weld this all up, and then we'll also have to do something here. I'm so close to the edge there, though, I might have to do the gusset on the inside. Ooh, however, I might not have room. Now that I think about it, I might have to go on the outside. Oh no. But I'm just going to... I'll figure something out here and I'll show you guys, and yeah, hopefully we'll be done. I'm trying to finish this up before I have to leave for work in exactly 1 hour. So let's get these welded up. So it's been a minute since I last filmed. A lot has happened. That last clip you saw was right about almost 2 months ago. I no longer live at my parents' place. I have now moved out on my own, but all my crap is still here and I spend all my free time here. So it's like I still live here. So I've been really busy with the move and moving out and stuff. So that's why I really haven't posted a lot lately or had much time to film. I think the last thing I filmed was I had welded up the engine mounts. I can't remember. I think I fully welded them with the triangulation. I know I'm probably going to get some hate for how I did those, how they were kind of stacked weirdly, stuff like that. I don't really care because those things are like way over-engineered. And as you can see, They work, obviously. So I'm not going to talk too much about like the cooling system or the electrical stuff, because that's going to be a video of its own. This video is solely on the engine mounts. So I'm going to show you the engine mounts and we'll talk from there. Okay, so coming down to the passenger engine mount, as you can see, all welded up, very solid. Can't really see because of my battery ground cable. But yeah, we got a bolt there, and then you can't really see it, but we got a bolt down there. And yeah, no, it works really well. The only thing I did is the kit that I got for the LS swap mounts came with just a regular bolt. These are nylon locking nuts. So the LS swap kit that I bought just came with like a regular nut, and I didn't really want that. So these are nylon locking nuts, and I feel a lot better about that. And then it's really hard to get a wrench down in there. So the bolts, I forget what size they are. I blue Loctited those, and then just as tight as I could get them until they would not move anymore. So they're not really torqued down, and if they are vastly over torqued. On to the driver's side, which good luck being able to see anything. Same exact thing, right? You can see the triangulation there. Literally same thing. One thing you're noticing is you see the slit in where the bolt goes, how it's at the top instead of bottom. I don't know why I did that. I don't have any reason why I did that. I think it was just to give me as much room as I could to lift the engine up. So there's that. Then there is one thing here, and this is going to be its own video. This is a AC pulley, or an AC bracket, where the air conditioner went. And I had this because I was going to build a very custom AC delete bracket. Like, I had a crazy idea planned. It's very messy, but basically this 3/16 inch, oh no, this is 3/8. This 3/8 steel, because this is aluminum, this is where you just mount a regular pulley. Oh wait, I said I wasn't going to talk about this. This is going to be its own video, but basically that's the AC bracket is just chilling there. Don't even really worry about that. You don't need that. But I had to cut the crap out of it in order to make it fit. But it fits really nice, and I was able to fabricate it around the engine mount. So anyway, that's basically that, and then I just painted them up, painted them black, and they work great. Oh, there is one other very important thing. The drive shaft, I was very scared because I had to slide the transmission forward. You can see that bracket that I made there. See that? I was scared because of how far the transmission is forward. My drive shaft wouldn't fit, but my drive shaft fits perfect. I was talking to a drive shaft company, and they said as long as the yoke has at least 2 inches inside the transmission, you are good. And I think I have right about 2.5 inches, maybe even 3 inches. So we're good. So my stock drive shaft works. The only other thing is the shifter is really far forward, but as we've talked about, I am going to be making a remote mount shifter. Basically, this will kind of go like right here, and then we'll have a rod going across, and I will shift from here, and it will go there. I might make my own video on that, maybe. If you're confused how that works, just type in remote mount shifter. So yeah, that's basically that. This was a super easy video. And as you can see, we are making great progress, even though I have not put out a video in a while. I've been working on it still. So we're going to wrap up this video. Again, these were just dirt cheap LS Swap S10 mounts that I bought on eBay. I want to say they were like right around $20 or $30. They were cheap. My advice to you, though, is just get these, the polyurethane portion where it bolts to the frame, because I had to cut so much of this apart that it would have just been easier to make my own from scratch. Like, if you have a plasma cutter, oh man, you are so much farther ahead than the rest of us. So if I were you guys, just buy the part where it bolts to the crossmember, make the rest of it from scratch. And then the only other thing is, you won't be able to see it, but the distance between the bottom of the oil pan and the top of the notch in the crossmember is right about a ½ inch or so, and from the front of the crossmember to the front of the oil pan is right about 3/16 of an inch. It's a tight fit, but nothing rubs, so I'm cool with it. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We're back on the grind. I'm now moved into my new place. This technically runs and drives, although not perfect, but that's what I'm here today to work on it for. And yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Super simple episode. I think anyone will be able to do this. And leave a comment and like the video. Please like the video, please. It just helps me get seen better. So thanks for watching, guys. Next video is on the electrical, which I'm almost done with, so that's exciting. So next video will be out as soon as this one's out, and yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Alright, supercharged 3800 swap in a Chevy Corvair on an S10 frame. We just got the clutch bled, and we are going to fire it up and go through the gears, because I don't know if this transmission works, and yeah, let's see what happens. Ready? That thing is running so rich. Oh my god.